Well, it's a cold, wet morning up here. We got a awkward situation. There's not room for us to turn our chipper around, tight gate, so we left the chipper at the bottom of the hill. We got a little bit of chips in here, so what we're going to do is we're going to dump them up here, and I'm going to spread them in our landscape because I want an empty truck, because we're going to use the truck to shuttle brush and wood. So we got a dead Zelkova over there. Now this video I think would be excellent to show ground workers because I talk a lot about roping and roping techniques. And I think, young people in this industry really need to see the roping work that we're doing and understand it. It's critical to have a good mentor, and I'm doing the best I can through these videos. So I hope you share it with your guys, especially the young ground guys that are working. We'll wake up the mountain with that backup alarm. So today's job, we've got a dead Zelkova tree. And I'm hoping it hasn't been dead too long. Got a lot to break. A lot of brickwork. There's no place to really drop anything. It's not a giant tree, but it's big enough. On the positive side, we got another tree over here that we can tie into so we can be reasonably safe. Oh, look at that. Great big woodpecker hole up there. Something to pay attention to. You have to do a lot of roping on this job. It's cold. A lot of things to break. There's really heavy wood too. It's kind of like an elm tree in terms of heaviness and denseness. A lot to break, a lot to break. Let's try not to break anything. So is there another squirrel hole up there? I see one on your side. Big squirrel hole, huh?
Mm-hmm. Look from this side.
Okay.
Come to this side. This one right here. This one right here.
Yeah.
It's not a deep. This one. And this one.
Goes all the way through, huh?
And this go down.
I would feel so much better if you were tied into that other tree.
I'm gonna tie to this one.
Yeah, I know.
Tell me the rope, please.
Sometimes you get into a job and you just sense that something is going to go wrong. And with this large opening up here and the hollowing on this tree, this whole situation just did not feel good to me. I had to insist that Jorge put a rope over on the other tree. There was nothing that was really solid that we could tie into, and the direction of the rope was almost straight out, but it was better than nothing. As I've said many times, I don't have a cameraman, and a lot of times in order to catch something, I just have to put the camera down and hope I catch it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, but you get what you get, and on these jobs, my concentration on doing the job is my priority number one. Filming it or video work is secondary, but I think I got some pretty good shots in here, so I hope you enjoy this video. Difficult removal for a very, very heavy tree. Jorge had his rope caught up on a little stub there. It was around the main limb, so he was tied in of a sort. But sometimes all the little stubs and bits of twigs get in the way. You have to pay attention to all these things.
You will try.
He's wearing spurs, but there's a couple of issues. One, the bark is peeling off in a lot of places, and the wood underneath the bark is extremely hard. And a lot of the areas, it's not a real wide stance. So using the spurs was a bit of a challenge.
I'm ready. Going dead? No. Good.
I want you to watch this next piece really closely. Right there. That could have smacked me in the face. If I wasn't watching really closely, that piece that slid down the rope could have gotten me hurt.
Good.
This looks like it's going to be a good shot. Look at the background there. A little bit of light coming through. I got to set this one up. So I put the camera down and it focused on my hands. I hate the autofocus sometimes.
Okay. Ready.
So here I've got the rope on the porter wrap on another tree, but I have to do two things at once because when this piece comes down, it's over the shrubbery, and I have to use the rope sliding through my gloves, but hold the piece of wood and then set it down carefully. Just go ahead and watch. You'll see what I'm talking about.
Wow, that's heavy. Good. I just got a half wrap. Ready? Yeah.
And using the porter wrap, you can overdo it. And if you did a full 1.5 wraps on the porter wrap, you might not be able to get the branch to slide when he makes the cut. Hey, watch that again. See how I had to let it slide past him so he didn't get hurt from the branch, but I had to stop it before it hit the house or the stuff underneath.
Really good.
Now that branch wasn't over his head, but I still had to manage it so that it wouldn't hit him in the leg.
This is a big one. We're going to have to use the porter wrap. You're going to leave that there and then move it at the end? Yeah. You're going to cut between those. Okay. A little sketchy.
When doing rope work, you really have to be completely aware and understanding of the move the climber is going to make. So it's imperative that the climber and the person managing the rope are on the same page or the same understanding of what's about to happen.
Ready? Please stop.
I'll show that one again. That piece is very heavy. But I still have to let it slide so it goes past him, but catch it before it hits the building. Now the porter wrap can get you into trouble real easy. If you put too much of a wrap on it, it'll hold rigid and you can't let it slide. You have to be able to control the wood or the brush that you're bringing down because your climber's life is in your hands.
So I just had half a wrap because I wanted to let it run. Yeah. If I had done one full wrap, I think it would have hung up on the porter wrap and jerked you. I mean, there's pros and cons to that porter wrap. All right, I got to cut some of this stuff and haul it out. Ah, that was a really heavy limb.
Leather gloves are absolutely critical when roping.
Oh, you have the rope too short?
Yep. Maar ik ga het doen, maar ik kan het doen, dat is waar ik aan.
I want you to note that I'm staging all the brush backwards. And the reason for this is we couldn't get the chipper up the hill, but we wanted to transport all the brush down to the chipper. And the chipper was almost a mile away. But when we dumped the brush, we wanted to come out butt in first as we're dumping it behind the chipper. So there was a method to my madness here. I got up in the truck and Jorge was handing me some of the pieces and I was stacking. We ended up taking 3 runs of all the brush. There's that rotten piece. That's what he was working above. That's part of the reason I was so nervous about this whole job. I knew it was bad, but when I got it on the ground, the reveal was pretty frightening, actually. Oh, well, the day's over. We got it all the way down to 5 feet. I couldn't cut the last bits because I hit a big nail in the trunk and I ruined my chain. So I told her, I said, we got to come back for the last part of the trunk. So I went home thinking I was going to see a beautiful sunset and stopped at the sunset spot near my house. And this is what I've got to look forward to for tomorrow's work. I think it's going to rain tomorrow. Hey, thanks for watching. I always appreciate the comments. Please subscribe. Please hit that like button. And above all, be safe out there.